we talked with Sarah a little bit. She's got her hands full, quite literally, right now with some beautiful babies. And just as soon as she's ready to come back and play, we're
I got two.
Excited to go back.
I was speaking to Kevin backstage. Obviously, you guys had a rough winter this year. Did you guys ever just get tired of being out in the snow and the cold, or does that just help add to the stakes of the show?
When I was reading this episode and things were happening that Reese needed to be saved, and I kept being like, please don't let it be me.
Whether it be, you did the Thin Red Line, we were in the jungle and it was over 100 degrees and humidity and stuff, and it just looks amazing on screen. So one thing that Jonah's always promised is that it's going to look like cinema, and you got to suffer for your work, and I think that, whether it be our setups, we do a lot more setups than anybody else on television. That's why the quality is so damn good. And every episode is so damn good. There is no throwaway. We give it out every time. Whether it be Michelangelo, Jonah Nolan,
Dave Inslee, who was our DP, does a remarkable job shooting that show.
Yes, no. It's an incredible family that makes this show. And just a few of us up here today, but our crew, our New York-based crew, incredible. And the writers back in Los Angeles who would say, I would do a whole episode and the car would have broke a window in the snow. You guys suffer for that. We sit around in LA saying, this will work out great.
I think in season 5 we should make you write the episodes in a cooler.
Jim's crawling through real snow there in that episode. And, like Jonah said, a real credit to our crew here in New York. What they go through, when it's the teens, and Gail Behringer, our live producer, I think is here tonight somewhere.
Hey, welcome back.
Chris Fisher's our producing director, phenomenal. He happens to be in New Orleans, I think, right now. But the most impressive thing, I think Jim and I were there the last night shooting, and it was down to 20 degrees or whatever it was, and we look out and we see our fans who were staying there with us throughout the whole night while we wrapped the episode. It was really phenomenal, and it was just like, it really makes you feel something. You're like, wow, the commitment to stay here all through the middle of the night to watch us wrap the episode is really something.
Right. Amy maybe alluded to this already because she said Scott could be killed at any moment. But you guys have obviously been committed to the idea that characters do have a beginning, middle, and end on the show, and that they can go at any point if the story services that. So I guess for the actors, even with Reese in this episode that we just saw, do you worry that your number is up on the show at any point, or do you think
Well, you guys.
It's been like 4 years on President. I open every script like this.
We're going to give you all their photos.
The next one.
Maybe for Jonah and Greg, how important is it to have those stakes? Obviously, you feel like you have a show where the hero is always going to make it out okay. Maybe you lose interest, but for you guys, how significant is it to have the possibility that any of these characters could, go vanish?
I think, we talked to a few members of the press and yourself had seen this episode a couple days ago. I think the most gratifying thing that anyone said to us was that because of the way we've built the show and our track record, gruesome track record to this point, they got to the point halfway through the episode where they really thought, man, are they killing off Jim's character? That is the highest praise that the audience is watching it, not really knowing what might happen next, which is definitely something we wanted to achieve.
Well, not to stay with the gruesome, but obviously, like you said, you like to go crazy toward the end of the season. I know that we only have a couple episodes left this season, so you have Samaritan out there, you have the Machine, you got this gang war that's going on. What can we expect in a broad sense from these last couple episodes as we ratchet up those stakes once again?
Well, we promised a war at the beginning of the year, and it's a bit of a bloodletting. So this is the time of year where we definitely like to get it all together and bang our toys together. These last 2 episodes, and there's going to be some shocks, some surprises.
anything, Cash, you guys? Anything you want to add to that?
I overheard a conversation that was a group of people who have been on the show, and they were all standing in a circle saying, "Did you get the call? Like, are you dead? Are you dead?"
So blood will be spilled. Is that what you're saying?
We're going to have to make these extremely awkward phone calls. When the scripts are about to be released, we have to call up the actors and let them know, you know, everyone lives forever in flashback. Yeah, we had probably had to make about half a dozen of those calls for this finale. So. And then one artificial intelligence we had to let know.
Right. Well, the producers were adamant about wanting to take questions from you guys tonight, so I think there's going to be some microphones that are making their way around. So if you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. Please wait for the microphone because we are on a live stream. So if you guys down here in front, there's a few hands. So we'll get some microphones and ask these guys some questions. We'll start right here in the front row.
All right. Hey, everyone. I really don't want to jump the gun, but as far as I know, I haven't heard much in the way of season 5. Is there any? Do I need to cross both fingers? Is it odds looking good?
We're feeling very, very confident about continuing to tell our story, and we're just, it's sort of above our pay grade in terms of the things that are being worked out right now. But we're feeling very good, and everyone's been very, very positive, both network and studio, about the creative direction of the show and the ratings and everything else. So we're very, crossing your fingers always helps, but we're hopeful it's not necessary.
And watching the show helps as well, right?
Yes, cross your fingers while watching the show.
Right, another question right there.
Hi. Who was in the car driving up?
The source of a slightly awkward conversation about 20 minutes ago.
Just for the record, they just informed me that. Like, we got good news and we got bad news. Great episode. Bad news is you're not at the end.
Can you talk a little bit about the suit itself and the importance of dress on the show?
Well, part of what's holding up our pickup is we're still renegotiating with the suit. We're season 2 with the suit. The suit is really, really holding out on us.
It's Hugo Boss. When I do the fight scenes, it's J.C. Penney.
Hi, I just want to say that for a show that is not supposed to be focused on relationships, you just do relationships so beautifully, all of them. And since Shoot won the Zimbio poll just recently, I want to do a shout out to thank you for supporting Shoot, thank you for Amy and Sarah, for all of you for supporting us as Shoot fans, and we are so happy you won. But my question actually is, I think that Root has really interesting relationships that are really different from, Harold, the major ones, Harold, Shaw, the Machine. But my big question is, what is Root's relationship with the Machine? Because at the end of 413, it seemed like you were breaking up with the Machine, like leaving your blog, and that was a huge thing. And then did you stop talking to the Machine, and then for 415, the Machine was like, come back and save Harold? Or did the Machine stop talking to you, and then finally you're like, all right, I can't find Shaw, I'm coming back, because you're talking in 419, but you're not on good terms. So can someone give us a timeline, like a Root Machine communication timeline?
I think Root's kind of similar to my, almost preteen son. Like, some days he doesn't want to talk to me and storms out of the room, and no, it's probably a real letter. Yeah, I think that the way they wrote it. To me, I was curious at that end of, I guess it was 413 when we talked, and I was kind of done with the machine. But it seemed like there was a bigger picture that had to be worked out, and I think that some of those holes kind of get filled in actually in the last couple of episodes, where you see maybe what I've said isn't what I was feeling, and kind of things.
Great. Thank you.
Next question. Still over here.
This question, I guess, is for Jonah and Greg. When Carter died, I noticed that the first time we showed the intro, she was out of it. But when Shaw left the show, she's still being shown in the intro. And I wanted to know, is that like the machine's way of saying all along that we kind of knew she was alive? Or is there a reason why she's still in it?
Have you seen the body?
That's a TV rule, yeah. You've seen the body, you can, they're dead. If not, hope springs eternal. But yeah, I think, much as we love torturing the audience on these points, we've seen Sarah's character. She's out there somewhere, and it's really just a question of when we get to introduce that character. We have a killer storyline for her, just as soon as she's back to life.
All right, let's go back, maybe towards the back. Maybe, yeah, right there.
Hi. Do you keep Bear on the show? Like, is he going to stay for like the rest of the show? I do like the dog, so.
When we're all dead and gone, Bear lives on.
This is a spin-off act. He's getting his own show.
So right down here on the right. Me? Sure. Wait, just wait for the microphone.
Thank you. I am curious to know whether this was written and then the cast was chosen, or you knew who you had in mind you were writing specifically for them, or was somebody a relative that needed casting? And how does one get to be a relative?
Well, things happen very, very quickly. We were developing a broadcast TV show, but Greg and I had the extraordinary pleasure of getting to work with actors whose work we had long admired. And I had been a fan of all of these actors in all the different shows. Kevin had been on Brotherhood, Showtime. Amy we knew and loved from Angel. Michael. I've been a religious fan of Lost. All these seasons. I think I actually went and saw The Thin Red Line 5 times in movie theaters when I was in school. So it's a real thrill to be able to work with these folks. As for the rest of the cast, it's mainly people who throw us kickbacks and unemployed family members. And
if there's any more Royal Shakespeare Nolans, we'll take it.
Let's go to dead center right there.
Hi, I have a question for Greg and Jonah, which is, will eventually the Irrelevance will be recruited? Because we know like Brood is building some kind of apps. Are you going to use the same way that Samaritan